All right, everyone. So today we have Randy, and I can't wait for her to share her story and tell you all about how she helps others. So, Randy, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
So I clearly am a pet mama. um,
Yep.
so I have some cats and some dogs, but I also have some human children too. I'm an author, I'm a podcaster, um, and I love talking. I like to talk a lot. Most of the stuff I write and talk about is mental illness, and yeah.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I never used to like to talk, and it's kind of ironic because now I have a podcast. So,
It's
but
funny
yeah,
how life works.
you know, yeah, exactly. Like I started working on myself and improving my life, and realized that I can help people by talking. So now I talk a lot.
Right? I know. So when I was little, I used to think about, I mean, I always liked talking even when I was little. But I used to think about people helping. Those were doctors, those were police officers, and yeah, okay, they help, but like there's so much um value in sharing your story and in talking to others to
hmm
help them know that they're not alone, that the struggle can get
hmm
better, and so it feels really good to be a hopeful person.
It does, because we take what we went through, you know, a lot of the hardships that we went through and overcame, and then help people overcome them themselves. So,
Exactly.
you know, that's why I love like what we do.
I totally agree.
hmm And then, what is your podcast?
So it's called the Write or Die Show. So write like you're writing something, because I'm an author. And I
Yeah.
interview other people and we talk about their mental health journeys. I have expanded. I don't talk just about mental health. We also talk about
hmm
developmental disabilities. We talk about chronic illness. I'm pretty open to most things because
hmm
there's so much to share and so much overlap in resources
Yeah.
and strategies. So but it's really cool
hmm
because I mean, just like you, I'm sure you talk to people all over the world and it's amazing.
Oh, yeah. Yep. It really is, and it's awesome, like, the people that you meet, and, one of the things that I like about having a podcast is I get to bring on, other people to come on and share their knowledge, so, basically, I get to learn for free, you know?
That's what I
I
always say. I'm
so
like,
it's
oh, hey, I didn't know that. Cool. Like
Yeah,
this morning, I
it's
had
so
an
awesome.
episode. Yeah, this morning, I had an episode, and the person had on, I'm going to say it wrong again, pro, pro, I can't say it, but he had face blindness. So I learned all about that, and it was so cool, but it's such a hard word to say unless I'm looking at it.
Yep. Yep. Huh, well, that's interesting. Yeah, like, I learn something new every day, and it's just so awesome.
Yeah.
So, let's talk about your business, how you help people.
Yeah.
So if you
So
could just give a quick rundown.
yeah. So my business is writing and podcasting. And it's all geared towards helping people know that they're not alone. So it's all about that
Okay.
sharing my story, sharing other stories. So I've dealt with depression, PTSD, autism, raising a kid with autism, tons of different things. So I'm literally an open book. You read about my whole life in multiple books. Um, but
Yep.
through that, other people have said some really inspirational things to me because there's lots of times when I'm like, is this doing any good? Am I actually helping anybody by just writing some books? And yes,
Yep.
yeah. So yeah, that's
Yep.
my main focus is writing to share my story with others so
That's
they can help.
amazing. Amazing. And you're someone who lives with autism. You know, looking back when you were younger, and I know, like, for me, my younger years were the hardest. That's like when you're trying to figure out who you are. That's when
Mm-hmm.
you feel like you're getting judged the most.
Yes.
And looking back, like, what is something that you wish you could have told your younger self?
That other people's judgments don't actually matter in the grand scheme of things.
Amen.
Yeah,
I
that
wish
one
I could
piece of
tell
wisdom.
myself the same
Yeah,
thing.
that one piece
Oh,
of wisdom would have
yeah,
saved a lot of heartache and crying and tears and woof.
yeah. I'm 33 years old, and I only learned that about 3 years ago. So, yeah,
Yeah,
it's,
it's a hard one to learn. I had to go to therapy to learn that one.
yeah. Oh, I went through, coaching and I don't know how many books. I bet you
Oh,
1,000, podcast episodes before it, like, clicked in my head, like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna walk around and people are gonna stare because I walk different. Oh well, why should that affect me? And
mhm.
ever since like I had that shift in my mindset, I was like, all right, I got this. Now walk out in public like nothing. It's like I don't care. Like
Right?
I'm here to live my life.
Exactly. Oh, you couldn't have said it better. It's perfect.
Thank you. Thank you. So yeah, I agree with you on that. And then, as you grow up, what is something that you wish other people without autism knew about you to make life a little easier?
Um, so many things are popping in my mind right now. So I'm gonna say the biggest one that I have struggled with is
Mhm.
communicating, but just immediately saying yes to something, and I have no idea what they actually said. Just like, yeah, okay, uh-huh. And so for the longest time, I would do that because I was taught as a younger kid, oh, you need to answer right away, right? And you need to be helpful. So it was always yes was the answer, even though it doesn't need to
Mhm.
be. And so as an adult, I would be, yeah, yeah, okay. And the one day I said that, my husband's like, okay, you're gonna get your shoes on. He asked me to go to the store with him, and I'm like, what? Huh? What I said? What happened? So the biggest struggle is getting the attention first before you actually start talking. Don't assume that I've actually heard you, because so now I'll be like, yeah, okay, wait. I know I said yes, but wait, I didn't hear you. So get
What did
the
I just
attention.
agree to doing?
Yeah, yeah, it's been pretty bad. The struggle is real there. So I would say it, and I
Yep,
think that that goes across for so many things. So like ADHD, or
it does.
even just a neurotypical person, if they're not paying attention to you when you ask them a
Mhm.
question, good chance they didn't actually hear
Oh
you.
yeah. My be my best friend does it all the time. And I'm always like, "Dude, you didn't hear what I said." Like, "Let's go.
Yeah,
Listen." So,
exactly.
yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. And then how many books have you, written?
I really should count. I think I'm up to 20. I know it's a horrible answer that I
Damn,
don't actually
that's
know.
awesome. No,
But I
I get it. I get it.
yeah,
Like, you start doing something like that all the time, it's like you lose a track.
exactly. And
Like,
some of the books are so small because I intersperse my nonfiction with like kids books to break up the tediousness of sharing my story.
okay.
So, there's a bunch of novels, but then I've got a bunch of kids books. So it adds up pretty quickly when you add in those shorter stories in there too. But I feel like my 20th
Mhm.
book is coming out December 7th. I think that's the number.
Awesome. And what's the most enjoyable thing about write writing, for you?
Um so because I write mostly nonfiction, it's kind of like therapy. So
Mhm.
that is so much fun. And when I'm not writing nonfiction, or even if I am, just the creative flow, the juice is going, and I put my headphones on. I usually put on music, and I
Mhm.
zone out of everything else, and I can just focus and be creative and kind of just be in the moment. And it's so hard to just be in the moment. People talk about meditation. I have tried.
Yeah.
It is not easy. But when I'm writing, it's almost like a
No,
kind
it's
of
hard.
meditation. I'm actually in the moment
Mhm.
for once.
Yeah, exactly. You're right. It is like meditation and, therapeutic, and, you know, we all know that journaling helps a lot, and what you're basically doing is journaling.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
I guarantee when you're writing, about your story or whatever, I bet you're learning a lot about yourself along the way.
Yeah, definitely. And
Yeah.
I always like to intersperse some research in there. So like in the one book
Mhm.
I was writing about journaling specifically, and I was like, I want to put some facts in here, not just that I know it, but some facts. So I looked some stuff up and I was like, this is pretty interesting. So I definitely learned some things.
That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, I've been working on my book. I have a couple of short little books, but
Nice.
how many do I have? See, I don't I have
Right?
3. There you
There
go,
you
3
go.
of them. See, yeah, like, I only have 3 and I still don't even know. But, um, I'm working on my story, so, like, from start until now, and
Nice.
it's hard. Like, it's like, I'll start writing, and then it's like, "Oh, I need to ask, my mom about this so I can get more details."
Yeah.
And then I forget to ask her, and then I don't continue, and then I finally get back to it, and then I'm like, "Oh, yeah, I forgot to ask my mom."
Yeah.
So, I think one thing that I thought about literally today is I think I'm just gonna record, like, a long 3-hour, podcast of just myself
There
and
you
just
go.
tell my story. Just tell my story. And then I
Perfect.
think that'll make it a whole lot easier because then when I'm doing the
Probably.
book, I can, like, listen to the podcast and go, "Okay, let's emphasize a little more on that topic," you know? So, yeah,
Exactly.
that's an idea that I had today, so I thought
I
maybe
like
that could
it.
help you out.
I like it. Yeah, I've
Yeah.
started actually blogging more of my story. So I've been dealing with like chronic pain for the last couple of years. So I was like, I should
Mhm.
write a book about this. But I was like, yeah, but I'm writing this other book right now. So I've started blogging it, and then when it comes time, I can just take all those posts, put them together, and then yeah, certain areas go a little bit deeper, expand on those ideas because a
Mhm.
blog is very short. So expand on certain
Yeah.
ideas. So very similar, just instead of talking, I'm just writing
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Sa Same difference. It's just for me, it's a whole lot easier just to talk. So,
Yeah.
it works out good.
Right? My brain, like, sometimes if I'm talking, I get on way too many tangents. So for me, when I'm writing, I'm much
Yep.
more focused. Like I said, I'm more in the moment, in the zone. So it is
Mhm.
easier that way. And doing little snippets and little tidbits is much easier than
Mhm.
sitting down and be like, I'm just gonna write this whole chapter. It's gonna be about this.
Yeah.
And
And let me tell you, if you're not feeling it, you can't force it. It's
yeah,
just, like, impossible. It's like when you're writing, it's it's not something that you can go, "Alright, I'm gonna do it now." It's like, no. But what you
yeah,
can do is because one of my clients is a a best-selling author, like 20-time best-selling author,
dang,
and I've talked to her a lot about, writing, and she's given me a lot of tips, but one of the things was you need to set a time every week, hopefully, like, 3 to 4 times a week, and you set that time for writing because after you continue to do it over and over, it becomes a habit, and then your
yes,
brain goes into that mode at that time. So that's
yeah.
a nice little tip that I got from her.
Yes, and
So yeah.
I try so hard, and then life just loves throwing curveballs, and then I'm like, "Oh, I'm supposed to be
Oh
writing
yeah.
right now, but guess I'll go deal with this child issue." It's always kids, you know? Kids always mess things up. No, I love them most of the
Yeah. Yeah. It, yeah, I agree. Kids make it difficult when you're an entrepreneur trying to do your thing,
time.
but you still have them, and it's not like they understand or care if you block off time to do something. They're
No,
just like, "Yeah, so what? I come first. Come on."
right? I'm like, but I gotta do this. No, it's all right.
Yeah.
My one actually does the art for a lot of the kids' books, so it's a nice little trade off.
Mhm.
I still have to pay her though.
Oh, there you go.
She likes the
Yeah.
money.
That's okay. That's good. That's good. That's good. Awesome. And then I wanna know, do you have, like, if you were to recommend one of your books to help someone, do you have one specific one?
So I would say it would depend on what the problem is, because I each of
Okay.
my books I do try to focus on a specific reason for it, and so helping. So I'll give you my top 3 choices real quick. If you're dealing
There we
with a
go. That'd be
depression,
awesome.
yeah, if you're dealing with like a depression, I would say Embracing Me. If you're dealing with the loss of a loved one, especially due to addiction, or there is addiction in your family, um, not
Mhm.
for the person with the addiction, but for the family member, Goodbye Too Soon. And then if you are a new parent to a child who has been diagnosed with autism or any developmental disability, it would be very similar, but autism was my focus. A Mother's Truth.
Awesome. Awesome. I know those 3 are amazing, and where can people go to, find them?
They're all on Amazon, so if you just search my name, Randi-Lee Bowslaugh, there ain't nobody else with my name, so I'm good. You'll find all of my
Same here.
stuff.
I'm the only, Nick Earhart in the world, so it's really
Perfect.
awesome.
Yeah, I used to hate
Yeah,
my
it's
name when
so
I was
cool that I
little,
can just
but now I love it.
yeah. Well, this will be the first time that I say this on a podcast, but, um, I got my I have well, my stepdad, who now, passed away, 5 years ago, but I took his last name when I was in 3rd, grade,
Oh,
so
okay.
Earhart is his last name. Now, before that, my biological dad, I had his name, and his last name was Shoemaker, so you can about imagine how that went in school.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I was very happy to, change my last name.
Yeah. I always got, because Boslaw sounds like coleslaw, so I got made fun of for that a lot. And then
Right.
when Austin Powers came out, and I hadn't seen the movie, I was still pretty young in grade school. People come up be like, "Oh, are you feeling Randy?" And I'm like, "Yeah." I don't know what you're talking about. So that was horrible. When that movie came out, it was horrible.
I love that movie.
Well, it did not go over well for grade school Randy when she didn't understand what the heck anyone was asking her.
No, I totally understand that. Oh, that's great. It's always fun to look back on, some of the things that we went through when we were younger,
Yeah.
'cause now we can, laugh about it, but
Yeah.
back then it sucked, but now it's just like, whatever.
Right? Now it's like,
Yep.
I'm living my best life. I don't know what those bullies are doing, but I'm living my best life.
Exactly, exactly. Same here. So I do have another, question, and that is my slogan is "Your abilities are infinite." What does that mean to you?
Ah, well, I the first thing that comes to mind is just repeating it because it's such a perfect sentence.
I know, right?
But I feel like you don't want me to just repeat it. So, I would say across the board, everybody has different abilities, right? Like some people are better at talking, some
Mhm,
people are better at writing, some are more creative than others. Whatever it is, like um, some people are more handy. My husband is a mechanic. I could not tell you what the heck a piece of car or whatever is, even though he tells me. I don't know, right? So every ability is different.
mhm.
Every ability is worth something, right? Even when you think,
Mhm,
oh, all I'm good at is, I don't know, recalling movie facts, making up something that seems
mhm,
trivial. That's a great ability that not everybody has. So I
mhm,
think it means everybody has something unique to them, and everybody's uniqueness is what makes the world amazing and infinite.
mhm. I love that. Amazing. So, thank you for sharing that.
You're
And
welcome.
then, do you have any last words of wisdom that you would like to leave the audience?
Sure. So I'm going to leave them with my slogan because I feel like it fits in real perfect. Um,
There we go.
the only way to end the stigma of mental health is to speak openly and honestly, which is exactly what you do.
Mhm. I love that. I love it. All right, Randy, this has been really amazing. So thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Of course.